Was Survivor Series 2025 really that bad? How's it going, everybody? I'm Casey Cameron. Welcome back to Leg Slapper. And yes, today we're going to talk about Survivor Series 2025. We're talking about War Games. We're talking about Nikki Bella versus Stephanie Vaquer. And we're talking about Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, if you've watched the show and if you've lingered online at all, you'll know that people have a lot of different feelings about this show. It seems like the general consensus is that War Games overall, like the whole Survivor Series pay-per-view, was a bit of a letdown. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that stance, though I will acknowledge that I would say it was of a lower quality than some of the other pay-per-views we've gotten in 2025. But I don't think Survivor Series was as bad as some people are making it out to be. I mean, let's just look at these matches. Let's start with the women's War Games match. How awesome was that match? Yes, I know it wasn't as brutal as AEW, Blood and Guts, blah, blah, blah. I hear that from everybody. Well, guess what? WWE is a different company. They're doing a different thing. Let's not compare one to the other. I know obviously we're going to anyways. They did happen so close to each other. And I guess you could say in this circumstance, AEW got one over WWE. I mean, think of this as kind of a shot back for all the counter programming that WWE likes to do for AEW. In this instance, AEW did the big steel cage matches way better than WWE. I will admit that. We're looking at WWE here. So how was the match? Honestly, while it wasn't as brutal as it probably should have been when we're looking at what War Games has been, how important War Games has been, yeah, was it a little tame? Absolutely. But was it a lot of fun? That is the biggest thing that I'm focused on. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great to see all these women go out there. Watching Io Sky do the things she does, it's just astounding. The fact that you can go to the top of a steel cage, willingly put a garbage can over your body, and then do a front flip down, hoping people will catch you, and then almost landing it. Forget it. Io Sky, one of the greatest of all time. Easy. Top 10 for sure. She's great. Absolutely. Without Io Sky in this match, I don't know if this match would have even been as good as it was, because I feel like she really was the star of this match, which is interesting considering all the other people that were in this match and all the other people who have been positioned to be the bigger star of the match over in Io Sky. I mean, think about it. I didn't really care about what was going on with Charlotte and Alexa in this match at all, and I'm waiting for one of them to turn heel on the other. I didn't really care what was going on with Rhea in this match, and that's despite the fact that Rhea absolutely oozes WWE star power. I mean, look at her when she comes out. Listen to the crowd reaction. Look at how people look at her. She is a star, and she is definitely one of the big pillars of the women division right now. And that's not just for Raw. I think that's the WWE altogether. I thought the Kabuki Warriors were both great. I love Kairi Sane. I love Asuka. I loved watching them do their thing. The Asuka miss spot looked like it kind of missed. I mean, well, whatever. It missed. The mist missed. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? You're still able to sell it. You're still able to go, oh, I'm blinded. Like, you don't need to be covered in like the blue goo, the blue water, whatever. Sell that your eyes are hurt, that you can't see. It's possible you got little particles in it. Oh no, you know? So to me, that's whatever. The biggest issues I had with this match was that AJ Lee was such a big selling point, literally marketed as the front of the team, as like the team lead. And yet AJ Lee really was a non-issue in the match. She was a non-factor. She really didn't do much of note in the match. Yeah, she'll forever be part of the getting the trash can up to Io, but realistically in this match, outside of the finish, I can't even really think of a notable moment for her in the match that I was like, wow, yeah, AJ Lee. So I love AJ Lee, but honestly, this match left me wanting a lot more from AJ Lee, and I'm hoping that if we're going to get more from her moving forward, I actually hope we get to see her wrestle matches. Then at the same time, I mean, Becky doing what Becky does. Becky's great. No issue with Becky. My other real big issue here was actually Lash Legend. I think Lash Legend has the potential to be a great, huge star. I think she has the look of Lash Legend. Oh my God, you're telling me if that woman kicked you in the face, you wouldn't be down for a week? Yeah, absolutely would. I think Lash Legend could be a big deal. She could. I think she has all the tools. She's just got to get there. And unfortunately, I don't think this War Games match really worked the way that WWE wanted it to. I don't think she got the reaction they wanted her to. I don't think they gave her enough big spots in this match to make her an impactful player in the match. So I think she was really mishandled in the booking of this match and how they decided to put this match together. And I think that's a really, really, really big missed opportunity, especially if you want want to push Lash Legend and Nia Jax in the tag division. And right now I'm really hoping they do, because I really want to see Lash Legend do something cool on the main roster, and I don't want to see her become another NXT star who just kind of slips through the cracks and becomes just another woman doing nothing on Friday Night SmackDown like Michin or like BFAB. So yeah, did I love this match? Was it a 10 out of 10? No. But did I have a lot of fun with it? Absolutely. This match was a ton of fun for me and a great way to kick off Survivor Series. What about Dirty Dominic versus John Cena for the Intercontinental Championship? What happened there? Well, we had a crazy match. It was filled with interference. It was filled with crazy spots. We had Dom faking an injury that basically fooled everybody in attendance. It fooled my girlfriend. It fooled me. It fooled everybody. Everyone was like, no, we've had so many big injuries taking out such high profile people lately that everybody was collectively like, no, please, not Dom. Not here in the middle of John Cena's last pay-per-view match. But it turned out everything was okay. We had Roxanne and Raquel beating up John Cena. What a crazy thing for them. Then we had JD McDonough and we had Finn Balor coming out for the double AA spot. Oh my God, like, man, Cena is just a beast of a man. And then of course we had Liv Morgan returning. Liv Morgan, who at first we're like, oh my God, she's against Dom. She's gonna help Cena or something. And then of course we had that look, the change in the look, the callback to John Cena's heel turn with a big swift kick in the nuts. And Liv Morgan was the deciding factor that got Dominic Mysterio his Intercontinental Championship back. And man, I am hoping we get Dom and Liv coming out on Monday Night Raw tonight to just let everybody know how good they are. Dom should be coming out there on Monday Night Raw. He should open the show. He should be like, listen, I did what I said I was going to do. John Cena said, come get some, and I did. I walked up to the greatest of all time, and I whooped his ass with this hottie right here, my girl, and we're gonna run roughshod over WWE. How good would that be? Have Ray step up, do Dom versus Ray. Great, wonderful, we got that. Have Liv Morgan cut a promo saying, you know, I'm the reason that there is success in the Judgment Day. Look at the Judgment Day. Look at what they've been doing. Yeah, they're fine. I like them all. But you know what? Where's their titles? I came back. Dom got his title back immediately. Clearly, the Judgment Day needs a new look. That's what I want. I want Dom and Liv to come out and be like, look, we're the people now. We're in charge of the Judgment Day. Forget you, Finn. We're the ones. We're the ones with the title. I have a feeling Liv will probably get a title very, very soon. So I'm hoping we get something big for the Judgment Day. I'm hoping we get something that really shakes up the Judgment Day. I think we have a lot of fun coming in the near future. Yeah, who would have thought, even at the beginning of this year, that Dominic Mysterio would be beating John Cena in one of his last matches for the Intercontinental Championship? If you told me that like 2 years ago, I probably would have laughed in your face, but now I'm like, yeah, go Dom. This is awesome. And same thing with Cena. The fact that there's not enough people giving Cena his credit for this match, because Cena absolutely went in this match. I mean, it was by no means a 5-star classic, but this match will be remembered for probably decades. This was John Cena's final pay-per-view match, or PLE match, whatever you want to say. It was his last one before his retirement match, and oh my God, did they make it count. It was my favorite match of the show, and I think it was probably a lot of people's favorite matches, and probably the thing that saved the show for people who didn't really like the show. So while it may not have been a 10 out of 10 in terms of work rate, for me, the match was a 10 out of 10 for enjoyment. And I think wrestling fans need to get a little bit more into the enjoying the fun, enjoying what happens. I can have ideas about what I think should happen or what I want to happen, but when the WWE presents me with something, it may not have been the exact thing that I would have chosen, but man, oh my God, am I having a lot of fun. You know, it's kind of funny to think that on this big War Games show, it was actually the 2 singles matches I preferred over both of the War Games matches, because up next we had Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella, and I literally can't even believe that I'm about to say that I enjoyed a Nikki Bella match more than 2 War Games matches, but you know what? I did. This is that hot take, and I am going to defend it right here, right now. There is something incredibly special about Stephanie Vaquer, because oh my God, watching that match, watching her calmly walk into this match, watching her calmly beat the hell out of Nikki Bella, and then calmly winning and walking out, that is what I want out of a dominant champion. You know, that's the thing, right? We've got Jade Cargill as our big dominant heel. What does she need to do? She needs to beat people up and then say, you know what? This is my place. I've got this. We're good. When I look at Stephanie Vaquer, I look at a woman who I don't even need to see say anything. I don't need her in a ring cutting promos. I would love to see her do that, but I don't even need that. I don't need video packages of her cutting promos. I would love her to be almost like a UFC fighter. You're not hearing from her a ton before the match. You hear from her on occasion. Then she shows up and then she absolutely decimates the person she's against calmly and leaves with her championship the way she's supposed to. And like, it's perfect for her character. Nikki Bella crossed her. And what have we done now? Now we've shown that Stephanie Vaquer is the type of dominant female champion that if you walk up to her and you cross her, well, she's just gonna calmly dismantle you and then leave with her championship while you're there wondering what just happened. I loved it. I loved this match. Nikki Bella did way better than I think most people are willing to give her credit for, and most people will give her credit for. So good job, Nikki Bella. Again, it wasn't amazing. Do I think that most of it was probably down to Stephanie Vaquer being an excellent in-ring partner? Yes, probably, but still, credit to Nikki Bella where it's due. Awesome match. I really liked it, and honestly, it could have gone longer. Now let's talk about the match that has everybody, you know, split on their opinions, the men's War Game match. Now, one of the big points of contention that I didn't mention for the women's match that seems to come up more for the men's match here is that there weren't the shark cages. We didn't have every superstar on display up on the stage to let everybody know, okay, well, yeah, they're all out here. They're just waiting for the timer to go off so that they can then enter the match. They can decide who enters next. And of course, with that, there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of funny moments that you can have. There's a lot of storytelling that you can include in the midst of a match if you want to put the effort in to do that. If you listen to my choice of words, you'll see where I'm going very quickly here. WWE likes to say they are story focused first. I think that they demonstrated they are not with this pay-per-view. I think they could have made so many better choices that could have helped them move along so many different stories. Instead, we walked into a War Games match where we were told the WrestleMania scene will be very clear. Well, you know what's only clear is the 2 world title matches. It seems like we're gonna get Reigns versus Cody. Awesome. Psyched. Love that. Can't wait. And it seems like we're gonna get CM Punk versus Braun Breaker because Braun just pinned CM Punk in that War Games match to win it for the heels. That's also great. That's fun. Cool. I'm on board. I'm sold. What is Jey Uso doing? What is Jimmy Uso doing? What is Drew McIntyre doing? What is Bronson Reed doing? All of these people were also in this match, and I have no idea what they're doing at WrestleMania. What about Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar is in the middle of that WrestleMania advertisement that they're doing for the men. So what is Brock Lesnar's match? Now, I know we've still got a lot of time before WrestleMania. There's a lot of time to get everything in motion, but man, I just gotta say, when you have a match like War Games, where you are pitting 5 of your top baby faces against 5 of your top heels, and we only really have 2 storylines actually running in that match, that is kind of sad. If you're gonna run a match like War Games, it could be simple or it can be really complex in the way you build your story. And in this instance, I think a lot of people were let down because what was this? I've seen a lot of big commentators comment on the fact that, well, we had this whole storyline about leadership going into the match, and then the match had nothing to do with that. Well, unfortunately, they did do something with it. It was just done very poorly. In fact, the whole leadership idea was actually only really touched on in the beginning of the match, toward where Cody Rhodes accidentally decked CM Punk with the elbow, and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then the other moment was at the very end when we were setting up Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. The idea of who is the captain is not the story of who is the captain of the War Games match. The idea is who is the captain of WWE. Is it the quarterback, Cody Rhodes, or is it the tribal chief, Roman Reigns? That is the real question of leadership that was being asked here. It wasn't who was leading War Games. That's why CM Punk wasn't really involved in any of this. That's why CM Punk was given his props by Roman Reigns at the end of the match, because Punk went out there, he fought, he was doing his thing. Yeah, they didn't get the win, whatever. But you know what? CM Punk doesn't actually matter to Roman Reigns because he's been there. He's done that. You know what he's got to do again, though? He's got to go and get his title back from the guy that beat him for it. There's a lot to like in this match. I mean, there's a lot of scary moments, too. I mean, Braun getting dumped on his head, that was scary for me. I was really worried about how he was doing. But, I mean, letting him get that pin, it was good to see at the end of the match. It looked like Brock Lesnar was really putting Braun over, which I really liked as well. I thought that was great for Braun. But again, I do understand why people didn't love this pay-per-view, why people didn't love these War Games matches. And again, especially when you have AEW essentially doing their version of that match just a couple weeks ago and doing it arguably much better to the spirit of what the match is supposed to be. All I want for the WWE is if we're gonna have people coming out and saying WWE plans its storylines, we plan everything based off of what is the best story. What is the best story? Not what is the best match. Well, guess what? You had what could have been an awesome match and what could have been incredible stories all done in this match. You had 10 people here, 11 if you want to count Paul Heyman, and all of these people could have had a storyline, could have had something to do, but instead, what were Jay and Jimmy doing at the end of War Games? Let me ask you, do you know what they were doing? Do you know what their reaction was to all the stuff with Roman? Do you know what their reaction was to all the stuff with Cody? Do you know what the reaction was to the loss? No, because they were in the other ring, standing there as props, not doing anything, not being involved in the ongoing storyline. And yes, I know not everything has to be story all the time, but in these big matches, these marquee matches, I kind of think they do need to be story all the time. I kind of think we do need to be moving these stories along and making sure, like, why am I tuning into Raw? I'm tuning into Raw so I can see what Dom's gonna do because I'm interested in that story. I'm tuning into Raw to see what Liv Morgan's gonna do because I'm interested in that story. I'm not tuning into Raw for any of the women in the War Games match. I'm not tuning into Raw for any of the men in the War Games match. Sorry. And if that's the case for your pay-per-view, I think your pay-per-view has failed. And I think that's why we're seeing this reaction we're seeing from fans is that, yeah, I think in practice, in principle, for what this pay-per-view should have or could have accomplished, I think it failed to do what it wanted to do. Unless your only goal for this pay-per-view for each single match was have Io be a big deal, have AJ beat Becky. Then we've got have Dom throw basically everything at Cena and then eventually win thanks to the help of Liv Morgan. And then Stephanie just dog walks Nikki. And then in the men's match, what? We got Braun beat CM Punk. So we've set up that match. And then we've got Cody versus Reigns. Great. And we need to really refocus on what we're doing here and get everybody involved. I'm not saying that Jay needs a revelation. We didn't need to know what Jay's doing for WrestleMania at War Games, but I would love it if Jay mattered in the match other than to yeet. And again, that's great. I'm glad people had fun, but I want Jay to matter beyond yeeting. This is why fans now are turning on Jay because they don't care. I know, yes, I've heard from so many people yeeting live is so much fun. I'm sure it is, but people don't care because people have no reason to believe in Jay anymore. People had a reason to believe in Jay when he won the Royal Rumble, when he was going to challenge Gunther. Can Jay actually win a world championship? This perennial tag team guy. And now I don't even know what Jay's doing other than maybe losing to LA Knight on Raw or maybe losing to Gunther on SmackDown. I guess we'll see. At the end of the day, I would say that this pay-per-view was still a lot of fun. I liked it a lot for a lot of different reasons. I wouldn't say it was a bad pay-per-view like a lot of people are. I think most people, if you're gonna look at this and you're gonna say it was a bad pay-per-view, I think you should really look at how you enjoy wrestling, and I think you should find a way to enjoy it. Again, this is so much fun. Right now, wrestling is a ton of fun, even when there's things going on that I don't love, and that is okay, and I hope that's okay for you too. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about this show? Tell me what your favorite spots and moments from the show were. Tell me what your least favorite moments were. What did you think of the masked man running in on the men's War Game match? I mean, we're all assuming it's Austin Theory. What if it's not? What if it's like, you know, what if they put Austin Theory in that to do the run-in only to swerve us and let us know that, oh, actually, it's LA Knight turning heel? What do you think? Do you think it's Austin Theory? Do you think it's LA Knight? Do you think it's someone else altogether? I would love to hear your thoughts on anything and everything from this show on the WWE moving forward, and I can't wait to hear what you think about Monday Night Raw tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Casey Cameron. This is Leg Slapper, and I will see you in the next video.